front page. I'm Lembit Öpik and welcome to Press Release here on Press TV, where we find the facts, kill the spin and tell it like it is about what's making the headlines. As usual, we'll be considering events from all around the world and sorting out the reality from the rubbish. First, a roundup of the stories that cause more questions than answers. Is it possible that Americans will re-elect this man for a second term in the White House? And what does that tell us about the American sense of humour? They say that happy is the man who hopes for peace, but plans for war. If that's true, then President Macron must be a very happy man indeed. I'll explain why. And I'll also reveal why I think the best thing to do instead of going to war is growing vegetables. And it's just possible the North Koreans have already started. What a week, what wildness, what a world. Let's get down to the details and separate the political friction from the political fiction. Who's going to be in charge in America after 2020?
So let me say, it is my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Can the wackiest president of the century win again? People have started asking this question because of the result of the midterm elections in the US of A, the results of which were just about as crazy as the president himself. American politics orbits around Capitol Hill. You know, that's the place, the big building the aliens always blow up every time they invade the Earth, usually on Independence Day. Anyway, they recently had elections for their two parts of the government called Congress. The so-called lower house is called the House of Representatives and the upper house is called the Senate. Both of them had elections and lots of political commentators were waiting to see who was going to win, the angry Democrats or Donald Trump's Republicans. And who did win? Well, it depends on how you look at it. In one sense, nobody won. But if you listen to Trump and also to the Democrats' own spin, everybody won. In a way, that's all true. The Democrats got a majority in the House of Representatives and the Republicans increased their majority in the Senate. Not surprisingly, delighted Donald told everyone he did great. And the fact his team got stronger in the Senate is a kind of success story for him. Meanwhile, the Democrats said they did great because they got power in half of the politics of the country. So who's going to win the presidency in 2020? Who knows? It could be Trump. Or maybe someone else from the Democrats has a chance. Here's an interesting thing. Where Don campaigned, the Republicans won seats. That means that he's an electoral asset. So what would the Democrats need to do to win in 2020? They've got three options. First, they could get a really professional politician with loads of experience to stand against him. But they tried that last time, and it didn't work because she was too boring.
Congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country. I hope that he will be a successful president for all Americans. This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for, and I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the vision we hold for our country.
And Trump was too funny.
To be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season.
Second, they could get a big celebrity to stand for them. But the problem is that film stars like Emma Roberts, ever heard of her, couldn't afford the pay cut. And her house is probably already bigger than the White House. So that leaves one final option. Get a famous person from outside politics to stand for the presidency. Someone who can certainly do as well as the current president. Yes, the perfect Democratic candidate for the 2020 election is, drumroll please, Donald Trump. And best of all, if they do nominate him, he's definitely going to win, because there's only going to be one candidate. Continuing the weird world of presidential commentary, France's Emmanuel Macron has said that it's time to have a European army. Who's the enemy? You've guessed it, Russia. Oh, and America. Yes, you heard me right, folks. Monsieur Macron has revealed that the danger of invasion comes from both sides. So he reckons it's time for the EU to go, hey you, get off my land, to east and west, with a nice dose of military might right in the middle. The French Premier wants Europe to pay more of its defence costs. Isn't that great? Not according to the US President, who attacked the idea of a European army. But hold on a cotton-picking moment. Didn't Tricky Trump also say he wanted a strong Europe and moaned that the defence bill has been largely on the United States? Didn't he say that? Mr. Macron seems to agree. Before meeting Trump, he said,
when President Trump has to protect or to defend one of the states of the United States, he doesn't ask France or Germany or another government of Europe to finance it.
Trump replied in a tweet writing, President Macron of France has just suggested that Europe build its own military in order to protect itself from the US, China and Russia. Very insulting. If you find this too complicated to understand, let me make it simple. Macron wants an army to protect Europe from Russia and America. Trump doesn't want that, but he does want the European Union to look after itself, preferably without invading America. Listen, Donald, I can promise you that Macron has no intention of invading the United States. You can't cook steaks properly, and you don't use enough garlic. There's no way even a French invasion can fix cooking as bad as yours. On the subject of war, researchers claim that there's some funny atomic business going on in North Korea. That's a bit of Korea which Donald Trump says he hates but can't stop talking about. Anyway, experts, also known as the sort of people who spend their lives spying on you from space, say that satellite photos show continued activity at a nuclear facility up there in the north. That's a bit naughty, isn't it? Didn't the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, say they were going to stop playing with atom bombs because Trump told them not to do it anymore? Well, apparently they're still messing around at their Nuclear Scientific Research Center. But it's not quite as bad as it sounds. There's no evidence that they're actually making bombs or trying to blow up Hawaii. The experts say the photos showed the North Koreans were cleaning up a local river near a pump house, which draws cooling water for the site's reactor. So it's less like nuclear war and more like doing a bit of gardening, which is nice. The American and North Korean leaders held their first meeting in Singapore in June 2018, reaching a vague kind of denuclearization agreement. However, talks between the two sides just haven't gone anywhere since then. Maybe that's why they're doing some gardening over there. If they can't plant any seeds for peace, they might as well plant something like potatoes or peas, which at least sounds like peace. South Korean President Moon Jae-in visited the North recently and met Kim Jong-un, who offered to shut down the nuclear complex if Washington takes corresponding measures. But he's also said Washington was getting annoying by demanding too much and going on about the complete, verifiable and irreversible denuclearization of the North. And then there's the sanctions. America seems to just love imposing sanctions. They've done it to China, they've done it to Iran, and now they're doing it to North Korea. While the UN Security Council has also gone along with the idea of sanctions to try and stop Pyongyang's nuclear and ballistic missile programs, America seems obsessed by them. It's like some kind of present. Guess what America gave me for my birthday? Sanctions! So the arguments continue and everyone gets angry. My advice is calm down, everyone. Stop threatening people and grow some potatoes or something. And that goes for you as well, Trump. He's got a very big garden. And as far as nuclear weapons are concerned, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So don't do it. Why can't we all just get along? Don't make war, make peace. And as usual, I'll make some predictions about what could happen in the weeks ahead. Firstly, Trump will either win the presidential election or he won't. But he'll definitely win if he's a Republican and Democrat candidate. And that's a solid prediction, and you heard it first here on Press TV. Second, Macron will never order an invasion of America. Why invade a country when your own food is so much better? And thirdly, I predict that very soon the threat of nuclear war will be replaced by a gardening competition. Okay, I know it's not going to happen because the Koreans are better at growing things than the Americans, but it's a nice idea. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and join me next time for Press Release, the show that takes the political fiction out of the political friction. Hold the front page, but don't trust it, trust me.